You need to watch that.
All right,
I'm going to try to talk loud enough where you guys can hear me this time.
We're live.
Yeah.
I could hear you good then.
Good deal.
I'm going to breathe in the microphone.
I miss Bob. Hey guys, welcome to the Free Speech Forum podcast. This is Madison, Recruit Lord. I would like to welcome my panel. We've got John back with us and Don again today. We've got Brooks here tonight too.
Good to be with you guys.
Yeah, we missed you, man. Missed you. So tonight we're going to be talking about Don had an interesting experience, and I'm going to talk a little bit about cryptocurrency. It's something I find kind of interesting. Brooks is going to go over the vaccine impact. And me and John and Brooks are going to talk a little bit about the new website and the new server that we've got coming up. We also have a link. If you guys want to hop in and talk with us, we can now get your video on the screen and everyone can see your smiling face. Go over the vaccine. Yep, that's.
Whoa.
Oh,
I got to hear myself.
Secret sound.
I don't like my voice, man. I hate the way it sounds.
you sound good.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that, man.
This is episode 5,
Yeah, this is episode 5.
sponsored by Sneed's Feed and Seed, formerly Chuck's.
You use that on your yard?
Yeah, feed and seed. What's up, Don?
Never heard of the place. Where is it? It's local, I assume.
I feel like this is a meme. I feel like you're a meme.
It's not even, yeah.
This is a meme.
It's, yeah. It's, I'll explain later.
Okay.
Is anybody talking to our YouTube chat?
I've got it up, yeah.
Okay. Is anybody there? We just talking to ourselves?
It's just us right now.
That's cool.
Yeah. I'm down with that.
Everybody can see it later.
You scared them when you said get you on the video.
I guess so. I mean, maybe they don't. Maybe we should just go back to the calls.
We should just talk to ourselves. Who cares if anybody's watching?
Yeah.
So we need to tell ourselves to like, comment below, and subscribe on YouTube. I've already done that. So tonight we want to show everybody a quick sample of our new website. And, we had rolled out a website before, but we just weren't exactly happy with how it works. And it was on a different domain. And then we learned a whole lot about how Zenfora works and have been learning a lot. And we're going to roll out some new styling and a whole new website. And I'm just super excited. And
It's got a fresh look.
yeah, and what you're going to see is not the end product. And it's probably going to change a little bit. But we just want to give people a sneak peek of what it's going to look like. So, Madison, if you could pull that up real quick.
Yeah.
That's not it.
Yeah, I know. There we go.
Whoa.
So the first time I saw this, I freaked out. I thought this was the coolest shit ever, man. I love the way this looks.
Blow load
It's a
in your
nice
pants.
color scheme.
I really, yeah, it is, isn't it? I saw this and I was like, this looks so fucking clean, man.
Yeah, go down and put dark mode. Like, I really like dark mode.
All right, so we got. Did y'all know that y'all can change this from here? You can just go down there and click that, and it brings up this cool little style chooser.
There's
So,
gonna
yeah.
be 2 different styles.
Yeah, there's going to be
from.
light mode and dark mode. And our web designer, he's working on this actively. This is what the forum index page is going to look like. So, we'll probably move those blocks right there so it'll be more easy to access the main forum. But click on the forum and you see like the footer. We'll have a much more clean footer integrated.
I like the buttons. I like how he does that.
And, everybody needs to get an avatar on this pretend site. It's like pulling the feed from our other site, I guess. Looks like 35 minutes ago it pulled the feed. But this is a rough sketch of what the new site's going to look like. And the homepage is going to be its own unique concept. We're super excited about it. We're going to have it almost kind of like an aggregator of our own content, like our own news, our podcasts, videos we create, but we're also going to provide some links to articles that, you know, get censored elsewhere on the internet, so people can come to our site and, you know, just go to the homepage and see what's interesting going on, see what people are talking about on the forum. And we get so much good content through the Dance Your Cares Away thread and the other thread, but sometimes it's hard to kind of pull that out, you know, and so we are going to help pull that out for the users so people can go see what's happening, you know, and then we'll provide links through the article.
Someone made a good. We need to add rainbows for the liberals. It does look like shit without the rainbows.
Yeah.
I mean, we right up here.
Actually, that Statue of Liberty is actually the transgender version of the Statue of Liberty.
This offends me.
If you lift up his skirt,
Zer's, it's Zer.
he cut off a piece of the skin on his thigh and formed it into this tube, and he stuck the tube in his pelvic region. And his name is Chad now. On TBS at 7 p.m. Chad. That's the Statue of Liberty.
Let me go back to it.
Right. So you were discussing like there's going to be a headline section.
Yeah, it's just going to be the homepage. We want people coming to the site just to. Not everybody wants to be a part of an internet forum, but we want to provide the shining light of truth for anybody that comes to our site. And so when people come to the homepage, they're going to see these kind of like thumbnails, and it'll be some of the content we create ourselves, but we'll also link stuff, you know, maybe like Breitbart or maybe Zero Hedge articles or even like CNN, you know, we'll mix up all types of stuff, and it'll be in these nice little tiles, and you can click on them and see the article, see the news article, and then at the bottom it'll say like, click here to go talk about it on the free speech forum. And so I feel like we're solving a couple huge problems on the internet. You know, everybody used to use like everything that has been a good news aggregator has cucked out, you know.
The comment section.
Yeah, and the comment section has been gone for years, you know. It was awful when they got rid of the Yahoo comment section. So we are going to provide more, you know, we're going to provide easier access to some of this stuff that gets pushed off for whatever agenda elsewhere. Hey, get a nice zoom in of me. Oh, we're still here. Yeah, that's the site. We'll see more later.
It's gone now.
We'll talk about more later.
Here.
But that's just what we got. Oh, look, it's the close-up view. So this is the close-up camera. Yeah, and I think it's just going to be really exciting, really cool. And the thing to me, it's going to blow some people away, is we had so many people come to our site from rivals, and it's just ridiculous how much money that like Rivals makes and how little effort they put into improving their site for the community over the years. Like,
right.
I think people are going to literally shit when they see what we come out with, but it's going to be excellent. Oh, and I signed a contract today on some billboards. We're going to have 5 billboards across Huntsville, and that's going to get a lot of eyes. I mean, 5 billboards, you know, in some main arteries in town. It's going to get some eyes on us. We're not going to put them up until the site is done, and it's my favorite part is it's going to piss people off because, you know, people be driving by, oh, free speech is bad. No, they shouldn't be, whatever.
Yeah.
We already were told to take down we were asked to take down the Free Speech Forum banner at our office because it was offending people.
Which is your company name.
Yeah.
Dude, the dude got mad at Mac, was like being a jabroni about it. Like, he was like this and trying to step up on Mac, and Mac is just like, all right, dude, I'll just take it down.
What was his response about something about Black Lives Matter? If we allow you to do that, then you can put Black Lives Matter.
I guess the
signs
Black
on the
Lives Matter people were complaining, although, you know.
free speech is a God-given right to
Yeah.
Americans.
Yeah, but.
Yeah, no, I'm surprised that people got butthurt about it, to be honest.
That's all right, but what's wonderful now is like one of the billboards, we have a couple billboards not far from the office, so the butthurt people are going to have to drive by our billboards.
See it every day.
That are like way bigger and, oh yeah, and there's going to be one pretty close to the digital advertising company that screwed us over. So
nice.
they didn't screw us over, but that didn't go the right way. So it's going to be funny that they're going to see the beautiful freespeechforum.com billboards as they drive into work every day. And
right.
Awesome.
I am literally shaking with anger right now.
Yeah.
There's going to be many people ask you why you didn't put them, across the country, different signs. But what's the idea?
We definitely want to. So my plan is we really want, because the internet wants to be the tech supremacy, wants to be the way they want to be and hide stuff like our site.
Right.
So
can't find it on Bing.
We're gonna go. No, Bing actually, if you search Free Speech Forum on Bing, we get all the hits.
Good.
So at a minimum, people,
Google,
stop using Google. At a minimum, just use Bing or DuckDuckGo. But still, those are both shit. We're working on something, but so we're not gonna digitally advertise. We are going to old school advertise with billboards, flyers, stickers, radio ads. And it's actually kind of cool because people have like bid up the cost of digital advertising so much, and it's super expensive. But now some of these other like mechanisms for advertising are cheaper, and so and if we're successful in Huntsville, we'll just kind of spread around the southeast.
Grow by word.
Get one in Decatur, get one in Florence, then kind of move into Birmingham and Nashville, Atlanta, and just kind of spread out. I mean. We'll probably go, there's some centers. We have some centers of people, a lot of people Texas, Oklahoma area. We got a lot of people South Carolina. So maybe like hit up some of those areas where we already got the community. And then you got people from the site like sticking stickers all around town. The more people see it, they'll check it out. But we're waiting on our huge push for advertising until we roll the new site out. So get the new site out, get people to come to the site. People who don't even want to see an internet forum are going to come. See this very beautiful website with these very interesting links that they can go read about. And if they would like to come talk about it with everybody else, they can. But if not, they can just check the site a couple times a day for news, news that they aren't going to see elsewhere.
Yeah, there must be a lot of people that really sit and watch or scanning, because you see news on the forum before you see it anywhere, I believe. It's just people come up later on in the day and say, hey, I just heard about so-and-so. I was on this morning. It's great.
Right. That's the great thing about the new site layout, that you're going to bring that information to the forefront. There's so much great content.
Yeah, Super Lucky Kill thinks you and Jer Bear are killing the news.
Yeah.
He can go fuck himself, really, because...
You guys are assholes.
We are working on getting the new mechanism in place, So we don't really give a shit if you like it or not. But
what if he was being serious? What if he totally enjoyed the news and you just shit on him?
I was going to say killing it's a good thing, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Killing the news.
It's all how you look at it.
So
we're going to take that as a positive note.
I think you should. I definitely. So this might not be as exciting for you guys, but I've been telling John like all week. Then we also got our new server and we started getting that set up. There's one thing left before we can start moving.
He's so excited about his autism, like takes over.
Oh my God, dude!
He can't even communicate why he's so excited. No. He's like, you got to see this. You got to come look at this screen that shows 40 processors. Oh,
I came a little bit
nerdy
look
engineers
at all this
coming
RAM,
out.
like 183 gig of RAM. Oh,
it's 88, 188. Thank you very much. Yeah, dude.
So what are the tech specs on this?
Oh, I'm glad you asked, Brooks.
I want to know. This is right up my alley. So.
Yeah, man. It's got two 20-core processors at 2.6 gigahertz. Which is a fucking beast. It has 188 gigs of RAM, which means we can handle more connections. So as we grow, we can handle more people connecting to the site without it slowing down. And then we've got 14 terabytes of hard drive, but 11 terabytes of space. It's set up as a RAID array. So that means if someone decides to spill their coffee on it, one of those hard drives can shit out, and we'll still be okay.
Nice.
Yeah. It's a fucking beast, man.
yeah. So Jared, so there's some ask about Where's Jer Bear? Jer Bear's getting pegged by his girlfriend again tonight, but he should be back next week. He's maybe like combing his hair or something, complaining about how things aren't good enough. But he will be back. And Chris Farley, our boy Chris Farley, is going to call in next week. Yeah, so we won't get into that too much. We got some new music.
We played this for them last week.
We've got the best guests we could ever have today. So
This is the
Yank Me Noodles back.
This is the Yank Me Noodle new Yank Me Noodle intro.
I'm ready to learn about some shadow people.
Yeah, get the shadow people background.
This is definitely. Oh no, that's the wrong one. Shadow, that's the one. There we go.
Whoa, look at those shadow people just moving around to the music.
There you go. Nothing else to tell. There they are.
Who is Super Lucky Kill?
Madison.
Yeah,
Oh, that's probably Jerry being a faggot.
that sounds. Yeah.
Jer Bear's the best. Only Jer Bear would call
wrong.
himself the best. So.
All right.
No, we're keeping.
Now let's zoom in on Don and see what he
please
wants to
don't.
tell us about shadow
Do
people.
we want to keep this going?
I'm digging stuff.
I'm
Yeah.
totally.
I'm getting in the mood over here.
That's the gayest music ever.
That's all we picked it for you, Don.
Discovery Channel. I binge watched Discovery Channel, and I was watching, saw that everything is UFOs now. Their main thing, UFOs. They think they found a UFO sitting on the bottom of the Baltic Sea, and then they go into shadow people, and they say all these different kinds of shadows that people see or whatever. And I had an experience. Again, this is just my experience. What happened when I was in my probably 1920s? We used to ghost hunt. Any place we heard there was some kind of paranormal thing in North Alabama or whatever, we would go and try to find stuff. Well, apparently somewhere along the way we did pick up something. But my experience, I had a woman that I felt had low morals when I was a teenager, told me that she saw the devil's face, and she had told me about waking up one night and just knew that something evil was behind her, and looked over and she saw the devil's face, and it was the most horrible thing she'd ever seen. So I was probably 13.
Scary stuff.
At the time. Yeah, it's a great thing to tell somebody that's
Did he look like Jer Bear?
I don't know. I've never seen it, but probably 19, 20 years old. I remember I had this experience happen. I'm living in an apartment. I'm asleep. I wake up and I can tell there is something behind me. And the best way I could describe it would be if I was laying in a pool of water and then it was just like this cold just moved through me. And I knew something evil was behind me, and I had to look at it just like she had told me, and I was just sure I was going to see the devil. But when I rolled over, there was a silhouette, just maybe shoulders, arms, just a dark silhouette shadow, but it was between me and the wall. And I was scared, understatement, but I was trying to figure out if there was anything that could be causing it. I was looking at the window to see if there was anything moving, and I just kept staring at it, and finally it was just, there it is, here I am, and the phone rang. And that's probably the first time I'd wet my bed since I was 12. But immediately everything stopped. You know, there was nothing, the feeling, the shadow, everything was gone. And after I talked on the phone, this friend of mine had called, and after I hung up the phone, I forgot all about it, went back to sleep. I don't know how. Woke up the next day, and I continued over time in that apartment having, what I'd call supernatural events. Weird things would happen. Just stuff falling off of the counters, just odd sounds, and I really didn't think much about it. But I firmly believe that it is some kind of demonic activity. I think everything goes back to the Bible. I think it's demons. Just somebody showed me this Mothman thing. Was it somebody put it on the site today?
Yeah.
It looks what I would call a fallen angel. It looked, from the description, about 7 feet tall. They said, had wings, didn't use them, could launch without them. So, yeah, I'm a firm believer in. Yeah.
So,
again, this is just my experience.
So I've had a similar experience, and it's probably better to have this discussion another time. Yeah, there's always been this demonic lady that would recur in my dreams, like over and over again. And it's led to kind of some similar things. And it's weird because it's like there will be this like presence or shadow. It's like always in front and to the right of me. Like she's always in the same spot. And there's a lot more to that story, but I understand what you're talking about, and real or not, or, figment of your imagination or what.
She looked like the girl from The Ring.
Kinda, yeah.
That's what I'm imagining.
She's my friend now, so I mean, like we don't, I'm not.
Y'all made it. Y'all are at peace.
Yeah, we're at peace together. She's my girl, but somebody posted an article in the thread too that from Para-Rational in the thread you made, Don. Uh-huh. It says the 4 types of shadow people, what they are and what they want. And actually, the 4th one just wants some Taco Bell. No, I'm kidding. I need to get some money. It says a shape that is generally male. All right, so these are some basic definitions of shadow. Common features of shadow people are, a shape that is generally male in appearance. They are aware of us and react to our observing them. The typical shadow person is tall, ranging from 6 to 7 feet. Very often, they seem to be wrapped in a cloak or large old-fashioned cloak. They said the same thing. Hats are not uncommon. Don't forget your shadow hat. Their appearance has depth to it, unlike a shadow cast on a wall that is flat. Quite typically, they have no visible eyes, but some will have glowing red eyes. Spooky. Shadow people are rarely reported to have spoken or tried to communicate. Physical objects seem to not matter to them, and they can walk through walls, can have a demonic shape and demeanor. The list encompasses the bulk of the entities that fall under the very broad heading of shadow people.
Well, there you have it.
That's my shadow people overview.
Mine didn't have a hat or a head. So
it didn't. It was just a kind of a blob.
I got gypped.
Mine would be... The thing would be in my dreams, but yes, every once in a while I would see like a shadowy presence, and I've had sleep paralysis a couple times. I know some guy, he's like got sleep paralysis like every night, and he like faces stuff like this all the time. Seems to be tied into I don't know. But I mean, my couple things, shadow people brings to mind aliens, and a lot of people, not a lot of people, but some people think that the whole alien thing is demonic, There's also the whole government pushing the alien thing to distract people or use it as a reason to take more power away from the people. But that's, demonic anyway, It's like trying to take people's God-given rights away. And another thing that I'll bring up, and I'll shut up because I had too much caffeine and I'm just running my mouth tonight. Is I don't want to blow anybody's minds too much, but humans, we only perceive certain frequencies. Mm-hmm. Like our eyes only see certain wavelengths of light. There's an infinite other amount of energy that gets there's an infinite amount of energy that gets transmitted. Sure, down to infinitely small to infinitely big, And we see a very small bandwidth, like the terahertz. You know, we see the terahertz electromagnetic field frequencies. That's what our eyes perceive. Right. So there's all this other energy out there, you know, that exists. And also there's, with sounds, we only hear from 20 hertz to like 20,000 kilohertz. So there's like infinite number of sounds that exist, you know. There's all these, there's like these endless possible, you don't even have to call them dimensions, but you know, there could be beings that exist on a whole, you know, a different wavelength than us and see and perceive on a different wavelength, just completely overlaid with us. You know, we would just have no idea about it.
Yeah, and if it is angels, if it is what the Bible says, then they would be extraterrestrials to us. I mean, that would.
Yeah.
So.
And I think just everything in life is so complicated. It's like, how in the fuck are you going to figure out? You know, it's like, there's no sense in even worrying about it, really, you know.
The older you get, the more you'll realize that man doesn't know a whole lot about squat.
Yeah. I know, I guess.
Have a lot of ideas, a lot of theories, but they really don't know shit. Nobody.
We see and hear down like a tiny little soda straw of everything that's going on in the universe, you know. We only perceive such a small amount. But
what are your thoughts on UFOs? Like, you know, the government released the classified information on UFOs saying they're real, but
so I think
they didn't provide a lot of other info.
They didn't. They didn't call them aliens, though. Was one thing I thought was kind of interesting. They just said, "Hey, there are these objects," and I'm like, I want so badly for aliens to be real. Like, I want it to turn out that there's a huge cabal of secret aliens pulling the string behind the scenes, you know. But
Men in Black.
Yeah. I mean, wouldn't that be so cool if it turns out there's a little man inside Don and he's telling him to say all this shit?
Well, sometimes I feel like, I'm just not even me. There's a little tiny person inside of me.
No, he opens up his face.
Yeah.
This little alien hops out on the table.
Like, this is just like your mortal shell, anyways. Your body's just like we're just something driving around this body.
Yeah, but
Again, I get you.
Well, there's been a lot of people, like eyewitnesses, seen flying objects move at, you know, rates that and physics that we can't even understand.
So
that a plane or helicopter could not perform.
Wasn't one of them like it just plummeted? How many feet? Just it was I think it was 26,000 feet, wasn't it?
Wow.
Yeah, and like in an instant, and we have no idea how that happened. That's what the sensors showed it doing. Is just what?
So I got a couple.
So you don't believe that, but you believe they're spirits?
Well, no.
Walking around in your bedroom?
Well, no.
And I'm not saying they're real. Like, this could be entirely inside my head, you know.
Okay.
I recognize that my dreams and all that, you know, and symbolism and built in, and, like, you can believe or see anything. You can trick yourself into seeing anything. Like, really, I, like, don't give a shit, you know. It's like, real or not, I'm not even going to, like, waste time thinking about it. So, but when it comes to the UFO stuff, my thought process is one thing that people are seeing glimpses of and happen are hypersonic glide vehicles that are moving way faster than anything people have seen before, like Mach 20 plus, that can go like around the world in a few minutes. And this is a real technology that exists, you know.
So other governments, other militaries have this.
Oh, I mean, like,
we could have it.
And China and Russia, they have it. Like, you can go read about hypersonic glide vehicles on YouTube. They exist. And they're doing things that people have never before seen, you know, in physics. Okay, that's one thing. Like, that's one aspect. The other thing is you have, like, lots of new drones, you know, and drones going real fast, and drones maybe exhibiting some of these kinematics. Cool. And then you have these tic-tac shaped things that people are seeing. Okay, this is where I'm going to go a little bit on the wacky theory. But so I've seen some papers and stuff on this, basically using lasers as a propulsion mechanism. Okay, so rather than having wings that turn in the air, you have a laser. So imagine a tic-tac that gets shot out of a cannon or something, you know, a Tic Tac that's flying, and it's got a laser in front of it. They call it ultra short pulse femtosecond lasers. They're the ones that have this ability. They like pulse the energy out. So it's got a laser in the front that can move around, you know, and point. And you can use those lasers to create tunnels in the atmosphere, ion channels. Basically, you can create a vacuum in the atmosphere in front of you. And so that vacuum can suck the direction of this thing. If it's got a smooth body, real clean aerodynamics, you could use that laser to drive it around. And you would see movement that you were not normally used to seeing because there's no like aerodynamic surfaces. And I got papers. I'll drop the papers. You know I got papers. I'll drop the papers on the Patrons Pub for all of our listeners. But
that's super cool. That's really cool.
We need you to write a news article.
I don't buy into the UFO stuff, you know, like, and anything that the government or the Army's putting out or, you know, military's putting out, like, I mean, give me a fucking break. Like, think for yourself, people. But that's my theory on UFOs. I mean, I think that it's just real things and real physics. You know, I believe that there's technologies that have been developed that we haven't seen that are going to blow some people's minds.
Aliens,
you know?
could be real things, man.
I mean, yeah, and I can see through wooden doors. I mean, like, I think, didn't somebody say that, like, mathematically, like, aliens, like, there has to be another organisms out there? Like, the universe is just so freaking big, you know.
I'm joking, but I mean, like, I want it to be real, but there's not, like, odds are it's true, but there's not enough evidence for me to be like, that's aliens. You know, like, I'm kind of like, you're as crazy as it sounds, what you're saying to me makes more sense than it to be aliens.
Well, Don, from a biblical perspective, do you think, like, God would put, you know, other people in another place than the earth?
I don't think so. I think that's going to be our playground after. I think that's going to be heaven. It's all the galaxies, universes. I think that's going to be just places for us to run around, have a good time.
Yeah.
And then we ascend to different frequencies that we can't perceive.
Move up the frequency chain.
Well, something somebody pointed out to me is that UFOs, these people that have had encounters and say they've been studied or whatever, they've been abducted, they all come, they bring this out under hypnosis. And somebody pointed out,
We need to do a podcast on hypnosis.
Oh, dude,
sometime.
that should be so cool.
Somebody pointed out that they're reptilian. You know, the UFOs are always reptilian, which goes back to the serpent in the garden. I think it's all in the Bible. I think anything you want to know about anything is right there. It's all.
Yeah,
I would just like to point out that Super Lucky Kill misspelled ghosts.
So, and I'm not trying to dismiss, because, like, I believe in supernatural whatever, things we don't understand. I believe in paranormal, I've been in a library, like, the U.S. government has invested so much money in, like, remote viewing, you know. There's all these, like, Stanford studies where people have proven that people can control things outside the statistical norms. You know, certain people have special skills. I have a book on stuff like that. So I am a believer in paranormal, or just things that we don't understand. I think that there's an infinite number of things that we don't understand. I like using the word infinite, but I also believe that in the end, it's like there's some kind of mechanism that makes things happen, you know? And so it's like, I'm not trying to say all these, like, this is my opinion on UFOs, and I'm not trying to dismiss the idea of, like, potential aliens or anything like that, but, you know, I don't really give a shit, you know, they exist or not. Like, I don't care, you know?
Yeah, I feel like you've, I didn't get that from you.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, definitely seemed like you, yeah.
if you want a Christian perspective of UFOs, Chuck Missler was my favorite Bible teacher, and he has lots of information on his take on it and the biblical view, and it's interesting. If he died several years ago, but all of his stuff.
I didn't know he
Does
died.
he chalk it up as like a satanic type background?
He thinks it's all. Yes, anyway, he has probably an aerospace background too. He was
Chuck Missler is
Annapolis
super awesome, interesting guy.
graduate, so I think he can satisfy all of from the engineers to the just the normal people.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, this guy, he like wrote he has all kinds of like studies and YouTube videos on basically like showing that when the Bible's written, like there's all this information in the Bible you can pull out, if you understand it appropriately. I think he like pulled the number pi out of Genesis,
Yeah.
and
wow.
All kinds of stuff. He's
And Eve,
every single book of the Bible.
I think he pulled out of was it E in the New Testament? I forgot, but he's an interesting guy.
Yeah.
A lot of good information.
I hadn't looked at Chuck Missler stuff lately, but he's definitely a guy to look into.
Well, I think we need to move on to the next discussion.
I love this music.
Madison, you were going to tell us about cryptocurrency.
I mean,
give some background information.
Tell us.
What is that? I've never heard of it.
I'd like to just have a discussion on it more than anything.
Okay.
Yeah. So I don't know how familiar you guys are with crypto.
No idea.
No idea. So have you heard of the most popular one is Bitcoin? Have you heard of that?
I have heard of it. I
Okay.
don't know how it works.
Yeah. So that's awesome. I guess-
Everybody wants a piece of Bitcoin right now.
and everyone wants a Bitcoin right now. Maybe
Yeah.
you can buy a car with that. But so Bitcoin's the most popular cryptocurrency. But what a cryptocurrency is, I guess like the best way to describe it is a digital currency that uses let's say a public ledger with blockchain technology. And what blockchain technology is how familiar are you with like a data structure? Data structures.
Pretty familiar.
Okay, so the best way to describe it would be a linked list. It's basically just a linked list with a hash to certify each link in that list, and that link contains a ledger, and it points to the next link in the list, and if that hash is incorrect, then it throws that piece out until it gets a certified piece, and these pieces are certified. So they've got the two most like popular ways are proof of work and proof of stake. They both do the same thing, just the way the certifier is selected is a little bit different.
So this is like mining that you're trying to describe, right?
Yeah.
Is there an infinite number of mining for Bitcoin, or is it all that been mined for so far?
So there are, I think it's 2 million Bitcoins left to be mined.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a limited number
For Bitcoin.
for Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Depends
I-
on how
I-
they set up the token. You can set it up any way imaginable.
Yeah.
You
I'm
can have set numbers, infinite numbers. You can have it where you can add more, you can add more, you can add more, or you cannot add more. You can set it all up
Okay.
however you want.
And so I'm of the mind. I think Bitcoin has some pretty big problems for like a currency in the future. But I think that cryptocurrency is kind of the way that that societies are going to go, because a lot of how crypto is done is it's decentralized. That ledger that verifies where it's gone and how much each person has and how much is left in the system is totally decentralized. It's just
Point one, why governments hate
Yeah.
the idea of
Right.
cryptocurrency,
Yeah.
because it's no longer this centrally controlled, easily manipulatable thing.
Federal Reserve.
Yep.
It's out of their hands.
This is now there are some reasons why governments do like cryptocurrencies, the US government, the IRS particularly, but this is one reason why governments don't like it, because And this is one reason why the idea of cryptocurrency is good, because it makes everything public. The books, the transactions, if it is a public cryptocurrency. But usually the ideas behind most of these is it's public. So anybody that ever bought or made a transaction, it's published publicly. Well, publicly is different than decentralized. But decentralized because it's basically leveraging everybody's computer, everything in the network, and it spreads. Like if somebody does a transaction, it has to propagate through a certain number of computers until it can be proven as like a positive transaction. So there's all these mechanisms in place to, prove that, yes, this was a good transaction, and
How will you get into Bitcoin? How do you do? Do you
Through
buy it?
traders
Do
like
you-
Coinbase? Is that who you use, John?
I would say the easiest way is I was a Bitcoin hater. I was a crypto hater. And then I kind of started understanding what was going on. I did miss the big boat in January of last year of like buying super cheap crypto. But the way to get into crypto for a normal person, I think, would be to set up a Coinbase account, Coinbase.com.
There's an app.
And it's an app.
You can also do it on PayPal now.
It's a little bit of a pain in the ass because it's almost like setting up a bank account. They need your personal you give your ID, but it's like, I set up a Coinbase account and you set it up and you even like take a picture of your driver's license so they can verify it's you. They want to make sure that the IRS wants to make sure that they're getting their money from short-term capital gains. So people that buy, a coin at $1 and it goes up to $5 and they sell it, well, they made $4, but then the government's going to take their 40% out of it. So
Right.
that's why the government likes cryptocurrency, because they're just making out with bandits with people's short-term capital gains.
Right.
And
When that start, like 2018, they started tracking.
yeah, and
Cryptocurrency.
Yeah, and I mean, I think, but the way Coinbase.com, I think, is the most straightforward way. And then let's say you want to buy $200 worth of Bitcoin. It's pretty simple, pretty straightforward, and you pay a fee. You pay like, I think $2.99 will get you, is the fee for $200 worth of Bitcoin.
So it's like buying gold or silver would
Yeah,
be just
right.
like buying
And see, that's
Or
what
stocks.
But it
that's
has no
why
backing, right?
some people like the idea of Bitcoin in inflationary environments because it's a hold of value. There's only a certain amount of Bitcoin the same way there's only a certain amount of gold, and cryptocurrencies I feel have like really hammered the precious metal market, because a lot of people who'd be buying precious metals for inflation now are buying crypto. But I mean, there's a bunch of things, So personally, if I was going to give my opinion on, as a financial or advisor on like how to do cryptocurrency, the simplest way would be set up a Coinbase account and put $100 a month into Bitcoin, and just never look at the price and just put $100 a month, dollar cost average. Don't care if it goes up or down or, and then you have diversified yourself into cryptocurrency, and if cryptocurrencies take off, which it's just a matter of time, it's just how is it going to shake out, because you can't stop the technology, and it's.
So it's I'm glad you kind of mentioned like an over time view of it, because I actually did just like a very, very small analysis of different cryptos. And over time, they've very consistently gone up. I mean, there's a very when you take it and like chart it on a scatter plot, there's a very clear trend for cryptos, and they are going. It's up. I mean, there's volatility, and like it does kind of go, from one high to one low, but it's again over time it's moving up. If you look at it, it's.
But I think you also, with crypto, you have to understand that the downside is zero. Governments can step in, but there's a difference between the technology behind cryptocurrencies and the algorithms and the cryptocurrencies themselves.
Yeah, that's the technology
difference.
is the thing that I think is
But
most
you can't
interesting.
stop the technology, and that's what So if you like look at the technology outside of the currencies themselves, and basically everything's based off of the Bitcoin technology. Everything's like feeds off of Bitcoin. I think Ethereum's got a little bit uniqueness about it, but
They're the ones that are doing the smart contracts, right?
All the cryptocurrencies.
yeah, they're all
the
kind of generally the same. It's just like a software. It's a software program, but it's secure. It's fast. It's public. It's decentralized. So there's no Federal Reserve Bank that's not even a part of our government that can control the flow of money. With their knob.
So like Bitcoin, the way that one's Bitcoins are really, there's a lot of information on Bitcoin that's very easy to understand, and that's the one that most people use. When
easy to understand is relative.
Let me rephrase that. There's a lot of information available if you want to understand it.
So something cool about these cryptos that where I really started buying into the technology is like you can set them up any way you want, okay? And then once you set them up, you can kind of set up your own government based on that crypto. So you can set up a government, basically everybody invests in that crypto can have like a voting right to how it gets handled, like how things get spread out or how this does. And so some of them do it basically, the more you own, the more you have power in influencing what happens with the network. Some are just like you buy some, like anybody that owns any has like an equal right to vote, voting powers. And so to me, what crypto opens up the way for is like digital countries. So like, who gives a shit, where you live on this earth? You become part of this digital network of people who exchange goods and services through a cryptocurrency of your choice. And it's all public and nobody can be screwing people over, it's just a matter of time till somebody puts the application to go with the technology, And
one of the downsides to these though is that public, the publicity that comes with it. Your information is public, and it does kind of take away a bit of privacy, because if I make a transaction, that transaction has a wallet.
Damn, Madison, why are you sending so much money to the Pornhub wallet?
Yeah, exactly. You can go and you can check and see where that's gone.
But there's varying ways of like keeping things private, And
isn't it also untraceable though to some degree?
It depends.
Some are, some aren't.
Yeah, they say that
pipeline people, the ransom, they were paid in Bitcoin, right?
So that's interesting that you bring that up, because that group that did there's a group that did that, and they hacked their wallet and just stole back the money. Because you can just see what wallet it goes to, and if you know the wallet, nothing is perfectly secure,
Yeah, I think Monero.
So they didn't get any money.
It's called Monero.
The FBI was helping the pipeline company, I guess.
Monero is the one that's known to be like most secure and most private,
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
So
that pipeline hack was a good of how freaking vulnerable, like.
Dude, that's so frustrating to me to see. We could talk about that. I'll just say
there's a huge problem coming with like advanced technology.
It's so
and then
frustrating.
The new generation of people, they don't understand where it came from, so they're like on all these GUIs developing things on a high level, and very few people understand the depths of what's really going on.
So, this is just a very quick aside. Very, very quick. Like Python, when you do pip to install something, pip install, that pulls from a public repository that literally anyone can make a change to that directory in there, and then you can pull that change.
Wow.
And no one checks that. No one like looks at that and says, "Oh, is this file good or not?" I'm just going to pull it, and I'm not even going to check. People do that. That's like a huge vulnerability that no one knows about or no one looks at.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like people don't understand if it's on the internet and you have access to it,
somebody
else has access to it as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nothing is the only thing that's perfectly secure is
a closed network.
Well, even then, it's like, no, not even. It's just there's things that you can do wirelessly to get signals coming off stuff, even if it's closed wires. There's so much. There's even things. I would want to say like you need to be in a room with no technology around you and almost like nothing. We're leaving the cryptocurrency.
Yeah,
topic.
I'll take it back to, so you said Monero is one of the most, typically if you want the currency to be private, you have to design it with that in mind, which is another reason why I don't think that Bitcoin specifically, I mean, there's a whole bunch of other reasons, but that's a big one for me.
I would never buy into anything being perfectly secure because it's just a matter of time till we have better computers that, it's kind of like encryption, like at one point, like 64-bit AES was all you needed.
Right.
And then now 256 AES, but that NSA has all kinds of tools. They can break that, immediately. Encryption, I mean, we've seen encryption reverse engineered. It's just, there's only certain ways it can be applied. There's lots of different ways, and that's kind of the same thing. Cryptocurrency, it's just
So are there retailers accepting cryptocurrency now?
I know. So, yes, I don't know specifically. I can't call it off the top of my head.
I thought that I'd heard Tesla was
They
accepting
were
crypto.
accepting Bitcoin, but Elon Musk made this huge stink about the energy requirements of mining Bitcoin specifically, which was fuck him. I mean, I like Elon. I really do like Elon Musk a lot, but that was kind of a stupid.
So is he
argument.
just casting doubt?
somebody needs to talk to him
Security.
about the lithium strip mines. People get so worried about oil, but have you ever looked at the lithium strip mines? They basically just gut the entire earth.
Oh wow!
And just pour all kinds of acid on it, and they're worried about people extracting oil. Oh, let's buy electric battery cars and save the environment. And then you have these batteries, once they die, you really can't recycle them.
You just throw them in the fucking water.
Throw them in the fucking garbage. Throw them in the garbage.
But
save
fuck
the
you guys more
environment.
than those Bitcoins.
Let's just dig up. Look up again. Falling off topic.
He's
but
a
it's
huge. His big thing is he loves Dogecoin. He's constantly tweeting about it. I think he's got the largest ownership of Dogecoin right now.
Oh wow!
Well, because he's got the laser pointer. He can edge himself in an appropriate way and say something that pushes money.
He can make a tweet and change the entire stock market.
He made it, and it was crazy because he made a tweet about Bitcoin, and when he said that, it dropped $20,000 just from him being I don't like Bitcoin, and then everyone was oh, well, fuck Bitcoin, I'm gonna sell out of that.
Right.
All right.
Well, I was watching a business news thing this week, and they were saying Bitcoin was expected to drop 50%.
Oh, dude, fuck business news.
Yeah, I looked. It's been hovering around $35,000. It's been down to 28,000 and up to 42,000, but right now it's 35,000.
Well, that's probably just based
there.
on where they expect the economy to go in America, based on inflation.
Yeah,
dude. After seeing some of the stuff that they've been caught in recordings talking about, who's the guy that does hardball? Is it Jim something?
Oh, you're talking about Mad Money with Jim
that
Cramer.
dude. Yeah, dude. So they're recording of him flat out saying, "Yeah, no, we lie about the direction of his stock so that we can manipulate how people respond and push it down, buy it low." Fun. And yeah, it's all.
Well, I can tell you, gold has dropped steadily ever since I bought it. So.
You can buy it at a discount now, man. What are you talking about?
I think you got
Why now? No,
it's discounted. What do you mean?
I'll keep knocking it down.
Well, let's move out of crypto. There's probably so much more, and we will definitely discuss crypto more in the future. But we got one more.
I want the cool music. Where's the cool music, man? Let's do this one.
Let's do this one.
Okay.
Sounds like a vaccine song.
Yeah.
Going to get my vaccine. Can't wait to make all my kids get a vaccine. Oh, my nephew died, but I still think you should get the vaccine for your kids. This is the vaccine song. Oh.
Yeah, well, so I wanted to take this segment to talk about the COVID-19 vaccine and impact. There's a lot of people that are getting the vaccine, but there's still a large group of people that do not want to get the vaccine. And one prominent person was Cole Beasley. He's a wide receiver in the NFL.
Yeah. Played for
Buffalo
the Cowboys
Bills.
for a while.
He was on the Cowboys. So
he had a good season last year.
He did. Pretty good fantasy player. So
yeah.
Was he a slot receiver? Mm-hmm. But he says that he would rather retire than than to get the COVID-19 vaccine.
Good for him.
And it's nice to see somebody else push back in the public eye, because NFL players are getting hit really hard with that. I think there was a thread on the forum last week about this, but I don't know if you've heard about some of the details of that for the unvaccinated players.
Yeah. These NFL players are like perfectly healthy physical,
Right.
generally around 30 or under.
They have chefs
And
working for the
and
nutrition.
There's zero chance that COVID is going to do anything to these guys.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a chance that the vaccine can cause, what do they call it, myocarditis,
Right.
and this other, and even the CDC acknowledged yesterday or sometime this week that yes, there's a possible tie, but they're saying they're using soft words, but they're going ahead and getting the story out. There's a possible tie between heart inflammation and the vaccine.
Right.
Okay. And then we've seen things like there's been a couple, and it's only a couple kids have died,
But you don't hear about that. Like,
It
you don't
gets
hear
out
that
somewhere.
from the government.
And
Like,
it
they just push
Well,
everyone
and
needs the vaccine.
Articles
do your
like
part.
that. Articles like that will be front and center on the freespeechforum.com
Right.
so people can see.
Good.
And
Yeah.
I mean, it's like this is blood on these pharmacy companies' hands, but it's like, big deal,
They
Just-
can't get sued for it. They're not allowed to get sued for it.
Yeah, and that was just a great idea, wasn't it, to give these
It was
these
a transfer
companies,
of wealth is what it was.
Yeah, I mean, we could get into that, but the CDC is acknowledging that vaccines are causing heart problems in people. Period. And this is the CDC.
Right.
Oh, CDC said wear a mask. CDC said so. If the CDC's saying it, and I don't give a shit what the CDC says. I don't care. But everybody's acting like the CDC is the king of what people need to do. Well, they're the ones acknowledging that these vaccines are causing heart problems.
Right. And they're the ones that flip-flop on this matter throughout the entire pandemic. From masks
They have.
to you don't need to wear a mask. Now you need to wear a mask. You need to wear 3 masks. But so there was a tweet that came out this week. Her name's Tammy Burgess, and it went viral across Twitter. And she, in this tweet, she said, "A week ago today, my brother's 13-year-old son had his second COVID shot. Less than 3 days later, he died. The initial autopsy results done Friday were that his heart were enlarged and there were some fluid surrounding it. He had no known health problems and he was on no medications." An interesting part of that is that she since deleted this tweet because she said networks like Fox News and other far-right networks are politicizing her tweet.
How
So-
are they politicized? How are they
Everything
politicizing?
related to COVID and vaccines has been politicized
Right.
for the past year and a half. And if you want to say it's not, I don't care what you say. Say whatever you want.
50 million Americans will die from the COVID vaccine. I saw that headline.
I
wish
need
I'd
to go.
saved it.
How many people are on the earth? Like 7 billion or something?
We can Google it.
And I think I saw in these articles, the thing the CDC released, it said only 22 people out of a million. Will be affect-
7.674 billion.
Okay, 7. I knew it was 7 billion. So they said only 22 people out of a million will be affected by, and I'll check my numbers and we can check the math. But if that's true, 22 people out of a million will have heart problems from the vaccine. Okay, whatever, big deal. Okay, well, if everybody in the world gets vaccinated, that's 6 figures worth of people with heart problems. And they want to make such a big fucking deal, 200,000 people died, whatever. Well, they're trying. They want everybody in the world vaccinated. And that's
Right.
going to put 6 figures of people with heart problems. And that's just like baseline studies,
Right.
But
They don't tell you that, though.
and I think that the big conspiracy is to some degree, it's all about money in the end. Like I personally think that's the main driver. People just want to make money. But
How many billions have
well,
they made from this. That's
Well,
And
no,
it's like-
that's that. So remember when Jerry talked about how he could get it for free if he didn't have insurance, but if he did, his insurance would pay for it.
Right.
Okay.
I remember that.
So I thought that was interesting. I also thought it was interesting that here was the big point. Sorry, I had to get to it. If of the unused vaccines, 70% of them are going to be gifted to other countries. So that means that the government is going to buy up those unused vaccines and then probably sell them to other countries. So regardless of, like, say you and I don't get it, someone's going to buy that vaccine. That means they're
This is
going
our tax money.
right. Like
My
that
tax dollars.
those vaccines are going to be bought. So like it's a in my mind that's a very clear transfer of wealth. Like, oh, I'm going to make this, I'm going to sell it to the government at a higher price probably than what you or your insurance would have paid for. Like,
Oh, I saw something there was like more billionaires created over the last year in these pharmacy companies than like ever before. Like,
well, there you go. This is why fucking COVID vaccine, man.
and who knows how many if people are just idiots or people or there's lots of this evil whatever, I don't care. Like, I'm not getting the fucking vaccine. Period.
yeah. I'm
And-
scared of anything.
And
the
talking
government
about Cole
pushes
Beasley
now.
standing up, I mean, we've had the conversation at work, and I work with everybody I work with is basically like brilliant, you know, and scientists and engineers, and more than half of the people have said if they make vaccines mandatory, then I'm strongly considering, you know, other job opportunities. And this is really smart people. You know, if they try to make the vaccine mandatory for us to work in a government building, we're going to take a long, hard look at continuing to work in a place that requires something like that.
Right.
And
Well, if you're healthy and you're relatively low risk. Like, why would you induce yourself to risk?
If you've
by
already had
going-
the virus, why would you need the vaccine? They've come out and said that you're fine. Like,
Right.
You have immunity.
and
against
somebody pointed this out, but like, think about the freaking psychological damage that's going to happen from this, no matter what. Because, like, hypnotism or whatever, it's like you get this little idea in your head, and you start thinking about it. It's like, is something wrong with me? You know. Well, now everybody that had these vaccines, there's a chance they got a heart problem. And if you start thinking you got a heart problem, that shit eats you up, you know.
Oh, I
Right.
didn't even
Like, is there something
think
wrong
about
with my
that.
heart? My heart's beating faster now. Man, like, now all these people that have been vaccinated have that psychological shit going on in their head, you know.
Right.
And then once they've got their kids, like worrying about their kids. I mean, some people blow it off, but it's like I guarantee that there's a huge cross section of parents, people that are worried about their heart, and there's going to be more because they got the vaccine.
Right.
And I understand that COVID is dangerous and it kills people, you know, and some people are very susceptible to it, and who knows, but the solution can't be more dangerous than the problem.
Back to the political side, yes, I remember a respiratory therapist that they could not tell her if a person had AIDS. They would tell her when she went to draw blood, treat them as if they have AIDS, but they didn't at the time. They didn't have any idea, you know, how AIDS spread or so. Why? I thought they should have tattooed it on their head.
Yeah.
And so
That's
what's-
HIPAA, yeah.
So what's the thing now with the COVID? Now you've got to have. They want you to show your vaccination, and we're back to Typhoid Mary.
Nope, you fuckers
Wait.
just treat everybody like they're unvaccinated. Put your masks on.
There you go. That'd be a good response. If you've been vaccinated, well, just treat me like I haven't been.
Yeah, you need to just treat everybody like they haven't been vaccinated. Everybody should put their masks on. I ain't wearing one. No more. I'm not participating in another pandemic. Period.
Right.
You're talking about this Delta variant shit.
Don't you just like feel bad for the people walking around work still wearing a mask because they're not vaccinated? Like they feel like they're some slave to the government
I know.
or like outcast.
I went out west. It was like November or sometime in the fall of last year, and I was inspired by the people out there. You know, Walmart had the sign like had to wear a mask, but there were so many people in there that like didn't give a shit about the rules. I'm like, I don't got to give a shit about the rules either.
Right. I felt that way about Florida.
I came back to Huntsville, and I didn't wear a mask anywhere. Nobody said anything to me. You know,
Right.
maybe I'm a big guy. People were scared to say something to me. Not a single person. People looked at me and were like, I don't give a fuck. Look at me. I did not wear a mask.
Land of the free.
I mean, starting about 4 months before Alabama had its official, you know, you don't have to wear masks anymore. I'm like, I don't have to participate in this shit. If people want to kick me out of the store, I got kicked
Just
out.
won't eat there.
I got
Won't
kicked out of
shop
Starbucks.
there.
I'm like, okay, whatever. Yeah, I ain't gonna be here.
Yeah, who kicked you out of Starbucks?
Excuse me, sir. Do you mind putting this mask on? Like,
Fuck you.
I'm out. And I mean, like,
Was the-
I don't
the computer
want.
guy?
I like people, and I don't want to treat people bad, you know. And people have your own opinions, you know, but I am no longer gonna be silent, you know, about shit like, you know. It's like, I'm gonna run my fucking mouth, and I'm not saying I'm right. I'm not saying I'm right. I'm saying
We're free.
I got the right to a fucking
We're
opinion.
free.
Right.
That's right.
Yeah. And people are like, in their head, they think they can't say things anymore. You know, people are so like tied up about what's right and what's, you know, it's like people are so confused.
You control your own health, so you have to take your own health in consideration
Yep.
if you're going to get the vaccine or not. So, but COVID-19 is real. You know, we've known people to die.
Yep.
So the vaccine does have a purpose, and it's important for people that are high risk. But you should also
Maybe not. But yeah, I mean, like, yeah.
I'm more afraid of the vaccine than I am of COVID.
But yeah, I'm just saying, like, it's a complicated doodad.
Right.
You know, it's like we don't know the right answer.
Right.
And thinking anybody knows the right answer. And I mean,
if you give it to your
I think
13-year-old son, then you're crazy
well,
based on the data.
yeah, but see, so many people, what you just said is like bad thinking. You're bad for saying that. You're not a normal person.
Just because you
You
go
should-
against the grain.
You're
But-
going to spread
no, I'm
COVID.
just saying, like, this is what popular culture is.
Why-
You're
why-
the crazy man.
Why do
You
we
know,
got to attack people for having a discussion?
You know what? Normal people are like that post about the family talking about being a sex positive family and their kids like to watch and
Nudist.
participate. Those are the normal people. Normal
Yeah,
people
yeah.
are cutting their penises and balls off and cutting their skin off and forming it into tubes and calling themselves Chad or, you know.
I hadn't heard about
those
this.
are the normal people.
I must be sheltered.
Dude,
That's what Jerry had
you're
that too
wrong.
about.
We're the bad people. We're the bad people. And like, can you believe we talk about Christianity on this show?
This is how that post is how family therapy videos get started.
Can you believe it that we talk about Christianity like you guys are just out of your mind? You're not talking about gay pride, sticking your penis in somebody's butt. Be proud of it. Like, be proud of it. Like, you're gonna say that, oh, you know, my perspective on Christianity doesn't align well with your homosexual ideas. You're a maniac. Get the fuck out of here. Get out of this country.
Wasn't my idea.
You're homophobic.
It's God's idea.
Just because
I
you don't
wasn't
know.
But I mean, that's the reality. That's
Right.
the reality.
Yeah.
And but thankfully, we have the free speech forum. You know,
That's right.
I really think that it's going to be like a beacon. And
They can't take it away.
well, and yeah, I mean, there's all, you know.
Have your own server.
Well, there's all these things. Yeah, there's all these things set up to
40 cores.
to keep. There's all these things set up to keep people like us from making a difference. But we like know what the game plan is. You know, we have a plan that they can't do a damn thing about. You know,
Right.
well, you ain't gonna kick us off the server. Okay, let's say that an ISP tries to stop us. Well, that's constitutional. Like, we're calling a lawyer suing their fucking ass off. And there's multiple I mean, we have 5 ISPs we can choose from in Huntsville. An ISP cannot kick us off the internet. So, okay, well, Google's not going to let us show up in their search engine. Okay, fuck Google.
Billboards, right?
We will constantly bash Google on our site, encourage anybody that comes to our site to stop using Google, use Bing because we show up on Bing. Fuck Microsoft, but use Bing because we show up on Bing, And yeah, we're going to advertise on the radio. You can't fucking stop us. We're going to advertise on billboards. We're going to put stickers all over the country, you know. You can't stop us.
Wear clothes.
Wear clothes. I mean, it's like, you know, but to some degree, I'm like, I appreciate the big tech companies for like serving this opportunity up to us on a silver platter, you know. Thanks. You know, thanks.
They've given us this platform.
You don't know the hornet's nest you just stirred up and the people that are getting involved in helping us, but
there's a silent majority out there.
oh yeah, and I mean like
It's going to show up in 2 years too when it comes to voting time too. So.
I don't even, you know, and you know personally, like I don't give a shit. I hate Republicans. I hate Democrats. I hate fucking all of them. You know, I hate politicians. I'm an anarcho-capitalist. You know, but I just want people to be able to have their opinions and think the way they want to think. I mean, whatever everybody else wants to think, like I want to think what's different. Oh, don't do drugs, John. That's a bad idea. Don't fucking tell me what. Yeah. I mean, like,
Which is a whole new program right there. Yeah.
yeah. So, all right, I'll shut up for a little bit.
No, I'm digging it, man. Keep on ranting.
Tonight, sponsored by Celsius Live Fit Sparkling Kiwi Guava.
Can we get some free Celsius?
It burns body fat, and it has 200 milligrams of caffeine. It has fueled my mouth
That is
tonight.
so much caffeine.
We are looking for a sponsor though of the podcast. So if
Yeah.
you're watching,
Yeah,
come sponsor the Free Speech Forum.
we're going to hit up Huntsville. Yeah, we're going to have a sponsor before the end of the year.
I say that so much.
And we're going to make
caffeine.
our sponsor a lot of money. Like, we're going
That's
to hook
right.
them up. So we're going to get them a ton of attention.
But I drink with 500 milligrams of caffeine every day.
I do too. I'm immune to it.
And then I drink another drink with 200, so it's like 700 a day. And like cups of coffee.
What are your thoughts on the gay NFL player, the first active NFL player to
Who
come
gives
out?
a fuck?
He actually has a porn video on Pornhub too.
Oh, so
Really?
you've
It's
seen
pretty good. Like I watched it. What?
It? Hey, I got
I mean, like just because I talk about that I don't like the homo doesn't mean I don't like watching gay sex on. You know, it's just like I just don't like people told what they can say. You know, don't tell people what they can say.
just because you have sex with a guy a few times.
He's
doesn't
a
make you
handsome
gay,
dude. I mean,
right?
he really is. Good for him.
Did you see President Biden's tweet about him? Came out and like praised him for coming out for being the first gay.
I mean, good for him. Like, I really got no problem with that guy. You know, like good for him. If you are gay and you like the penis, go for it. You know?
The problem is that it changes locker rooms. Like, so now the other NFL players, they can't get a shower without wondering if this guy's checking out his butt. Why?
I mean, I'd be checking out the butts. I mean,
it just changes the
I mean,
entire
like,
dynamic.
These
there.
are some
That's-
pretty like handsome looking. I mean, like.
They
Now, I understand what you're saying. You know, I do understand what you're saying, but
that's probably happening anyway.
you know, like I got a couple really good friends that are bisexual. You know, and they're my really good friends. And I mean, they probably wouldn't appreciate some of the things I say on here, but I'm just saying it because the opposite opinion needs to be heard. You know,
Right.
and they want to talk about fucking equity. Well, the speech in this country is not equitable. It's not equal. You're not allowed to say certain things.
Right. You're entitled
you're-
to have your own opinion.
You're demonized by the corporate structure, you know, and the political opinion. And people like don't even think about what their opinions are. Like they don't even think about it. They just don't want to be seen as a bad person for whatever, you know.
By the way, if anyone wants to call in, you can click the link in the description, and we can add you to the show.
Well,
Just
I think we're about to shut the bad boy down.
I'm digging it, man. I'm having fun.
So what happens when a trans person tries to go to the bathroom with your daughter? You know,
Well,
the
you
same
know
bathroom.
that would be a specific case that I would definitely have an issue with.
Right.
You know, and
That's where we're headed, though.
yeah, I mean,
I hate that
so-
I hate that if you bring that up and have an issue with
So
it, the counter to your argument is you're just homophobic.
my girls are young. You know, sometimes I'll let them use the public restroom by themselves. They're twins, but I will stand outside the door. And if I saw a transgender person wanting to go in the bathroom, I'm like, you're going to wait a fucking minute.
Right.
And if I'm going to be on national news for doing that, who gives a fuck?
There are pedophiles. They're all around us.
Yeah, man, yeah. And they're going to wait a fucking minute to go to the bathroom. So, yeah, I definitely understand. But, you know, there's also these cases where homosexual people are treated awful, like beaten, have been abused, and over the, and so good for them that they're treated better. But
Right.
it's now gone to this point where
Nobody deserves to be treated like that.
yeah, but now it's gone to this point where it's like you're a terrible person if you're not actively participating and wearing your rainbow dress
Right.
and, celebrating anal sex. Like
the the people attacking Chick-fil-A for having their stance or giving funding to heterosexual organizations. So
yeah. I mean, I think and that's why I just don't like politics, because like on any given issue, I feel like that there's specific instances on both sides of the issue that cause problems. That's just my personal opinion. And so like when I look at politics, I'm like, it's too fucking complicated for me. I don't trust any politicians. I don't trust the government. I know that they're doing a terrible job, but I also know that I don't know what the right answer is. So I'm going to take care of my family, my friends, my community. And,
well, the answer is Jesus, right?
yeah, that is the answer.
Right.
Like that is the one thing that just breaks. If we had a mass revival of Christianity in this country, it would really shake up the foundation. And
Right.
I think it would change
The further
things.
we get away
But-
from God,
but
the more
see-
this country
but
goes
see,
downhill.
that's true, but we're living in God's world. If we believe in God, then everything that's happening is God's plan. What's going on right now is God's plan. And like some of the stuff I said last week, everything that happens in this world is essentially meaningless. Like, who gives a shit? It's just, at least it makes it interesting.
Well, you think the end is in sight, don't you, Don?
I do, but I was so disappointed when the rapture didn't happen in 2017 that I've just
Still been bummed about it.
yeah. But I'm still thinking it's any day now. Just keep eyes on Israel. Keep again the UFOs. That's what I think that's been the plan for explaining the rapture. That UFOs took probably everybody that wasn't vaccinated or something like that.
Yeah.
So I just think it's all coming to a head.
I personally do feel that in the next couple of years, I feel like that there's something big that's going to happen. Like there's this, everything, what they call it's like a boiling pot or a
Melting pot.
yeah, but it's like a tinder box ready to go off. I mean, that's what this country feels like right now. And, but
All my life, the Bible says that when good is called evil, evil is called good. I thought, how could that ever happen? But it's
that's what I was
everywhere.
trying to communicate
That's
earlier.
it.
It's
yes,
like,
yes, it's everything.
well,
that
and
is
like you said,
evil
like the
is pushed
pedophilia
good.
is embedded deep in these homosexual communities.
Right.
Period. And it makes me sick to my stomach. And I mean, like, I know there's plenty of morally and ethically approvable homosexual people. That's they're homosexual, but it still makes my stomach turn when I see a gay male couple with an adopted son.
Right.
I mean,
Isn't the divorce rate extremely high, too, for homophobes?
yeah, homophobes like you.
Yeah, that's right.
No, I mean,
Homosexuals.
I'm not even saying that's important. And I mean, anybody adopting the kid, there's always risks, but period. We're getting live pictures taken from Pixel Joe. Pixel Joe is our friendly host that set us up, and he's helped improve these different camera looks. Like Brooks and Don, thanks for being here. Madison and I, and Celsius.
Starbucks too, but no one likes Starbucks.
I'm not a Starbucks hater. I'm not.
I like the coffee, man.
I do like
It's
So any closing remarks? Say bye to the shadow people before we leave. There's old Billy.
Sweet dream.
Oh, Shadow Billy
we
walking by. There he goes, right
Yeah,
behind
we
Don.
thank Don for coming on again.
Never got a hat.
and
Enjoyed it.
come
Thank you
back-
for the platform.
Yeah, glad you could be here.
I'm probably going to be taking off next week because I think we're going to do the kids podcast again, and I'm not going to, just kill myself with 2 podcasts. But I'm super hyped. I had so much fun with the girls last time. Like, we're going to have so much fun. Who knows? They're going to write the agenda, and we'll talk about what they want to talk about.
Disney
That'll be fun.
princesses.
Yeah, we'll probably talk about Disney princesses every week.
All right. Well, this is a lot of fun, man. I always like this. I really do. I hope you guys enjoyed the show. If you stuck around, we appreciate it. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe.
Oh, Top Hook. I see Top Hook's there. What up, man?
Yeah, there's Top Hook.
Make sure to go back and watch from the beginning.
Jerry hopped in here. Yeah, we had a lot of good. I enjoyed the talk. Everyone seemed
Is your
to
asshole sore, Jerry?
from the pagan.
He telepathically told me yes.
We'll be back next week at the same
heard it.
time. Like John said.
You heard him too, yeah.
John's not going to be here next week though, so it'll just be me, Brooks, and Jerry. You coming back, Don?
Who is coming next week?
Oh, Chris Farley's coming
Chris
on.
Farley.
Special
He's
guest
gonna
Chris
be calling
Farley.
in, yeah. So Don, I think there's gonna be an empty seat. Like,
Yeah, we'd love
I'll
to have
be
you
out.
on.
I'll be out. Jerry will be in as long as you can get approval from the boss lady. I think your choice is there.
Right.
Yep. All right, guys.
Phil Collins.
Thanks for checking us out.
Hang
yeah,
on, let's listen to the music.
I've been wanting to listen to it all night.
We went through most of it, but
Can
people
you-
start talking.
Can you sing "I Can Feel It"?
I don't even know that song.
Phil Collins.
Oh yeah. I don't think that's the name of the song.
This is pretty dope, man. Digging it. Did Mac make this?
We need Joe to do his "In a World Where Free Speech is Censored." A group of people in
All right.
a world. See you guys
Thanks, guys.
sometime.